Well, Luke, what do people like more in movies than an action-packed, tense standoff? Here's some news from the Hollywood Reporter on that note. Dune 3 and Avengers Doomsday in standoff over same release date. Quote, somebody's gotta move. Well, Luke, who do you
Yeah.
think's gonna back down first in this
Um,
Doomsday?
well, I don't think either of them are gonna back down. To be honest with you, because the thing is, Dune has the IMAX studios for that weekend, so it doesn't want to move. And Avengers Doomsday is like, well, we're the bigger movie. It's gonna hurt Dune more, so Dune's got to move. But yeah, both of them because it's the best weekend in December. So yeah, both of them want that, and Dune did have that weekend first as well. So you might think, well, it's the smaller movie, so it may back down, but no, it had that weekend first. So yeah, it's a good old fashioned Hollywood standoff, as you say.
Yes, yeah. But here's the thing, right? Because obviously, when I first heard about this, I heard people saying like, "Oh, Doomsday is going to be," it's like an intentional thing, like Barbenheimer. So I guess I kind of appreciate the fact that they are actually mad about this, rather than it being like, "Hey,
Well,
fellow
yeah.
kids."
Yeah, but no, but this is cannibalization. That's the difference. Oppenheimer and Barbie are two very different movies.
Exactly.
These are both like sci-fi action movies. So yeah, they're gonna eat each other. And who's gonna come out worse? That's the question.
I'll tell you who's gonna come out worse: the fucking Harkonnens when Tony Stark kills them. Hello and welcome to Select and Reflect, the movie review podcast where we look at films that have come out in the near and distant past. We give them a couple of watches and evaluate them beyond first impressions. I'm your host Michael, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Luke. And this week we are post-Oscars, but nonetheless continuing our Oscar extravaganza, although admittedly at this point wrapping up by looking at two films in one go. And we are starting off with Sentimental Value. So Luke, why don't you tell us a thing or two about Sentimental Value?
Yes, Michael. Well, what did you say about why we are doing these two movies today? Why we are reviewing them?
Well, I didn't say anything apart from that we are, wrapping up. I didn't say why we specifically put these two movies together.
Okay, well, do you want to tell people why?
They're foreign language films that were both nominated for Best Picture and were against each other for International Film.
Yeah, and which one won?
I don't know. I can't remember. Let me see.
You can't remember. This happened 4 days ago.
I would guess Sentimental Value won.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. So yeah, we are reviewing Sentimental Value. First off, it's interesting because these two movies, Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent, actually have a similar theme running throughout both movies, which is the power of cinema. Which is
I'm so tired of that.
Yeah, well, it's how you get your film to be nominated for Best Picture, especially if it is a foreign language film, because there's nothing the Academy love more than a movie which has a message which is, hey, you know what, cinema, the movies, etc. They're great, they're powerful, and that's what counts.
Has anyone said cinema more like Winema?
Yes, good point there. So, Sentimental Value, that is the first movie we're going to be looking at. That's, of course, as you correctly guessed. Somehow you needed to guess and not, just know it. But yeah, it won Best International Film at the 98th Academy Awards and was nominated for Best Picture, of course, which is why we are reviewing it. It is a 2025 drama film directed by Joachim Trier, who co-wrote it with Eskil Vogt. It follows some Norwegian sisters. It's a Norwegian movie. Of course, everyone should be aware. It's very Norwegian. In many ways, it stars Renat. Let's see, this is the. I've got to say these.
Luke becomes racist.
Say these Norwegian names. I don't think you can be racist towards Norwegians, to be honest with you.
Because they're not people.
Yeah, Renate Rensiv, Stellan Skarsgård. I know how to say that. Oh my fucking Christ. Inga Ipsotdotter Lilias. There we go, nailed it. And L.A. Fanning. No, I know that's
funny.
Yeah, Elle Fanning. She's American, as she is, of course, in the movie. It was released. Well, there's a lot of release dates here. Fucking hell, there's like 6 release dates here. Let's do the Norwegian release date because, of course, it is a Norwegian movie. It was released on the 12th of September in Norway. It doesn't have a US release date, interestingly. So that's kind of weird. But Michael, can you tell me what the budget was for sentimental value.
Yes, the budget was 20 million.
No, it was quite a bit lower actually. It was only 7.8 million.
Wow, they must have filmed it in their family home.
Yeah, I know. Which is kind of surprising because there are some relatively big stars here. I mean, Stellan Skarsgård and Elle Fanning, but I
Yes.
guess the production costs they won't be that high, because it's just been filmed in like one house over and over again. Yeah. Anyway, can you tell me what the box office was?
Let me think. Well, no, I can't, obviously, because who the fuck knows? Like, was Norway just going to see that film? They're very rich in Norway. I mean, they make a joke about this being a Netflix movie, which I'm guessing because they joke. Well, it's not a Netflix movie, obviously, because it wasn't a Netflix thing. I'm going to say that therefore it's released in the theaters. It made $30 million. Is how much it made.
That's not a bad guess. You went, a bit higher than the actual answer. The box office was $22 million. Okay. So not too bad there. Anyway, Michael, can you tell me, did you like Sentimental Value?
Yes, I did. It's what my dad calls, not disparagingly, a nothing happens movie. This is a term he uses a lot to describe movies that are very much kind of just following someone's life during a particular period of time. I mean, it's interesting enough to obviously qualify as a movie. There is like stories and stuff, but it's not like there's some big central. I was gonna say like there is a big drama in this film, but it's not like it's not exciting. It's one of those movies. It's one of those movies that you often have around this Oscars time, where it's kind of maybe a little bit of a fly on the wall movie, you could call it. I'm sure there's other words to describe it. Overall, I did like it though. Like, it's not going to be my favorite movie of all time because, well, it wasn't like super standout, but I liked it. I did find it a little bit annoying because I am tired of these movies always being about movies. That's the only. That was actually, like, to be honest, that's probably my main criticism. Like, the main thing I didn't like, which isn't like a huge criticism. So well done.
Yeah. So this was, I mean, completely expected. I heard this was a family drama, and of
there
course
are some cliches.
Yeah, it's a Norwegian family drama, so it's going to be depressing. Well, just Scandinavia has that reputation. It's going to be thoughtful. It's going to be, a bit subtle. It's not. It's going to be very far from what you'd get from an American family drama. Again, there's not a lot of scenes where the actors are acting in a very expressive way. They're all very low key, apart from like a couple of incidents. It's just very Scandinavian,
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, this is like, it's good. Like, it's a very well done movie. It's well polished, like the technical stuff, the scripts, all great, but it just doesn't excite me.
Yes.
And that is, again, an issue. I didn't come away from this movie thinking, wow, that was great. It was like, yeah, that was a really good movie. It was like a really good piece of IKEA furniture,
Ooh, yes.
It
really ties the room together.
Yeah. It's like, it very, very functional, doing what it should do, And I get, of course, I'm being a bit glib here, so I get, of course, there is this emotional heart to the movie, but it's not that complex, really. It does what I, again, like I said at the start, expected it to do. But it's still a fine movie, But I compare this, for instance, to other international movies that we've seen or we've reviewed on this channel. For instance, Anatomy of a Fall.
Yes.
Which again is French, so it's not Scandinavian, but it's a European movie that excited me, that entertained me. That was like, that's really good, and you could, it's kind of a family drama as well. There are some comparisons there to some extent, I just bring that up because that's like an international film. That I say it's a foreign language film. That really grabbed my attention, and this, even though it's like really good, it just didn't. It's fine, it's good, and I can completely understand why it was nominated for Best Picture. But yeah, I saw some people call it a masterpiece, and again, no, it's not a masterpiece. It's like Anatomy of a Fall. That would be a masterpiece, for instance. If you get me, that's more fitting. That movie is more fitting of that description. This is just no, it's good. It's decent. And yeah, we'll get into the themes and so on. But yeah, anything to say on that?
No, yeah, I mean, pretty much I agree. And I don't know if I really have anything else much to say apart from, I think you've covered it. It's a movie you would expect, but the fact you expect it means you're not blown away.
Yeah, let's get into the lit picks or nitpicks. How many do you have?
So basically, okay, I'm trying to remember what it was. So I watched this movie while I was eating my lunch. I know that obviously what we're supposed to do is just fully pay attention to the movie all the time. But, sue me, I watched the movie while also paying attention to my lunch. But I just wanted to say that really conveniently, just when I was eating my lunch, they started speaking English. So I didn't have to choose between blindly stabbing at my food or paying attention to the subtitles. So I was like, oh, that's really convenient. So good. That was my lit pick.
Okay, that's great. That's a really good nitpick or lit pick. So I have a lit pick as well. And when I saw this in my notes, again, it made me laugh. So my lit pick is Elle Fanning's ass in her jeans.
That was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. So it's not just like, oh, wow, that's incredible. No, it's the fact that the first I heard of this movie, again, this was around like September last year, or I can't remember when, but I saw like some people on Twitter saying, wow, I can't believe like Elle Fanning's ass in Sentimental Value. I was like, wait, what's like, is she like nude? What's going on here? But no, it's just like she's just in a fucking hallway in her jeans, and people were tweeting about it. That's the first time I heard about this movie.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and these, it was getting like thousands of likes, these posts, and yeah, that's just very funny to me. That's the first time I heard about it, and yeah, then it got nominated for Best Picture. So yeah, then here we are. So yeah, it was noticeable to a lot of people, and despite all the drama, despite all the themes, the beauty of the acting from many of the cast. No, it was all about Elle Fanning and her asset. Shall we say, and there's something nice about
the second I Google it, like literally every single result is Reddit. It's just pure goonaholics over on Reddit.
Yeah,
someone said mummy. That's not surprising.
The thing is, it's not like, again, when people first started tweeting about it, I thought it'd be like she was shot in a sexual way somewhat, but it's just, again, her having a conversation in this fucking house, and that people went wild over that. That's very funny to me. But yeah, so there you go. We've come all the way from those tweets to here. So let's get into the plot.
Yes, absolutely. Sentimental value is the emotional worth we assign to an object, regardless of what it actually costs or what it's worth on the open market. It's the priceless factor that turns a piece of junk into a family heirloom. I could not have put it better myself.
Wait, are you sure that's the plot?
Yeah, I googled sentimental value description, and that's what came up. So obviously, I think that's got to be the plot, right?
Yeah, that's got to be the plot. No, I just threw that in there because
sometimes you do that as a joke.
Yeah, because it's, I was trying to be funny, because of course this is a show or a review which is meant to be entertaining, as well as informative.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. We've broken new ground. We could call it edutainment.
Right, get on to the actual plot.
Sisters Nora and Agnes, it's like Hamlet all over again, reunite with their estranged father, the charismatic Gustav, a once renowned director who offers stage actress Nora a role in what he hopes will be his comeback film. When Nora turns it down, she soon discovers he has given her part to an eager young Hollywood star. I tell you what, she had all the fellas eager. There you go.
Yeah. You mentioned it was similar to Hamnet. Because it has a character called Agnes.
Yes.
Who, by the way, in our Hamnet review, we pronounced it as Agnes when in the movie it's pronounced Agnes, of course. Yes. But I just couldn't be bothered to do that.
I don't like that foreign muck, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so in Hamnet, of course, it's about the healing power of art. That's one of the central themes, and of course that culminates at the end with the Hamlet's play that Shakespeare puts on, and of course his wife Agnes, fucking hell, sees that play, and she's happy, seeing a representation of her son up on stage, and it's about how grief can be not like stopped, of course, but grief can be helped with the power of art. And here it's again kind of similar, this generational trauma that exists in this family. And Gustav, the father, the patriarch, is trying to help, get rid of that trauma with this new film that he wants to create, and of course he wants to cast his daughter in the lead role. It's a Scandinavian movie about suicide and trauma as well, which is which is very novel. No, I kid, but I do like the concept of a father only being able to talk to his daughters through art, and
I like that too.
Yeah, they have this trauma and he can't get past it, but this is how he can do it because, again, he is emotionally stunted somewhat, which is understandable given what happened to him as a kid. But yeah, it's just not that. Overall, the plot is just not that complex, I don't know if that theme is cool, but it's not that hard to work out, especially as the movie starts with, I think a description. No, sorry, it's like an essay that one of the kids wrote one of the daughters wrote when they were a kid about what if this house was real? What would this house feel? So immediately, the house is an object. The house is not just a house. The house is symbolic. It's like a living thing and a representation of this trauma. Obviously,
which I did. I liked that idea when it was first introduced. When they first started talking about it, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of interesting."
Yeah, well, you get that right from the start is the point, which is why it's not that complex. Yeah. It's not that hard to figure out what's happening. And so it's just a question of how well made the movie is or how entertaining. And again, not that entertaining, but it's well made. So there you go. Anything to say on the plot?
No, yeah. I mean, I do pretty much agree with you that that aspect of it lets you know where it's going. And it's kind of, even though, a lot of the ideas are interesting and I would say reasonably original, the whole idea of specifically what you said, he talks to them through his art. There's kind of this, it's almost like he's got a very professional relationship with them where they don't actually relate as much as father and daughter.
You say that's original, but again, it's very similar to what we just saw in Hamlet with Shakespeare. He communicates his grief through the creation of the play Hamlet. So again, I don't think it's that original, but it's a nice idea. It's just not that original, as we can see with one of the other Best Picture nominees having the same idea in that movie. But again, it's a nice family drama, and it explores how the past literally can occupy the present. Just how Nazi Germany occupied Norway.
Exactly.
Which is something that comes up in the movie.
It does. You weren't just being completely random there. Totally random, man. Yes, the trauma that comes from that was passed down, etc., and people, unfortunately, they can inherit more than just a property because that property at the start, it's not just a house. After film director Gustav Borg and Sissel Borg end their marriage, Gustav uses the divorce as an excuse to leave Norway and focus on his career. Sissel continues to raise their daughters, Nora and Agnes, in Oslo, which Gustav's family has owned for generations. Yes, obviously divorce. I wasn't expecting him to grow up, actually. That's kind of an interesting thing. I thought, this is going to be about kids. Just because, I don't know, family drama of kids, you kind of got that aspect of they're, innocent. They're, they have to kind of pick up what's going on. So, I was like, okay, whatever, fine. That was fun.
Because you knew nothing about this movie.
I knew nothing about it going into it.
Because I'd seen, parts of this movie before. I watched it. I knew what it was. So, the kids were adults. So, that did not surprise me. It was just funny how you knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
And the movie says at the start, it looks the same as it has been, but there's cracks in the walls.
Yes.
What does that tell you, Michael?
It's Al Fanning's us. That's the only crack I care about.
Okay,
I know, I know we're not into the crack, I guess, because obviously we're into the roundness of it. But I wanted to. I don't know. I thought that would be because you said crack, and I was thinking butt crack.
But again, that's it's not really what we were talking about, though, is it? It's kind of a wild deviation, you know.
You said earlier on that this was supposed to be entertaining. I thought maybe that would kind of do that, but I guess I'm still working on it.
I guess the movie again is about suicide and divorce and depressing Scandinavian shit. So maybe some levity is good, but again, the house, it is a metaphor.
Yeah. I will say I don't know if it necessarily is in like a really interesting way, which is because it's kind of just like I guess the house is old, it's been with the family, and there's an idea of like the house. It's almost like a picture of Dorian Gray, just in that like the house kind of absorbs a lot of the trauma, and it's kind of like this object or a Horcrux, to appeal to you fucking liberal, where it like absorbs the damage of the inhabitants, which again, obviously you already mentioned with the crack. But again, I'm just saying it's not like, as you've already said with regards to Hamlet, it's not a massively original idea, but it's fine. Not everything has to be the most original idea in the world, Luke.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah,
get over it.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's go. In adulthood, Agnes works as a historian. Nora becomes a successful stage actress, although she suffers from debilitating bouts of stage fright. Additionally, she is having an affair with her colleague, Jacob. Yes.
Well, okay, that's not how it's pronounced, is it?
Oh, sorry, Jacob. I just wanted to say their names right, because imagine not being able to pronounce your name. This is fine. It kind of annoyed me that Nora, she made this big deal about it, and then she actually goes out on stage and she's fine. It's like, come on, it's just wasting everyone's time. But I get it. We all have our difficulties.
But I think that's the point. Like that's how she really feels. But she's putting on a performance. When she's fine. That's her internal, backstage. That's the internal struggle. Literally, when you're backstage. That's how she feels inside. And then when she walks out onto the stage, it's like, it's performative, just like in real life. You're performative when inside you could be really struggling. Yeah. So I think that's the point. Yeah, but she is fucked up, which is the point. They're all fucked up.
No, absolutely. And that's generational trauma. Yeah, just established that they've got their issues. After Sissel dies, Gustav returns to Norway to reclaim the house. His daughters have grown to resent him for his absences and his drinking, although Agnes is more sympathetic to him. He tries to reconcile with his daughters, but their conversations are frequently derailed by his microaggressions and lack of emotional intelligence. Microaggressions. Been a long time. I didn't know. Again, you said you couldn't be racist against Norwegians, but clearly, I've only heard microaggressions being used about, race. But I get it.
Well, this guy is Swedish, though, isn't he?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, exactly. And the Swedish were racist. Like they occupied them, which is obviously only a racial thing. Again, this is one of those examples where it's very typical, but because it's kind of typical, it's there's a comfort in the familiarity of this idea of like a dad who hasn't really built up the groundwork to connect to his children as adults. So there's kind of this weird tension. I think it's like a quite standard thing you see in a lot of movies where it's exploring any sort of relationship between adult children and their parents. And that's because it's, I think, almost to some extent a universal thing, but in more specific cases, a much more pronounced thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's true, yeah. And that's a good point. Again, look, it's a good characterization because immediately you can understand this guy, and Stellan Skarsgård I think does a very good job. But essentially he's unhappy, he's fucked up as well, as just like his daughter. And of course if he is unable to connect with his daughter, it makes sense that he lacks this emotional intelligence. But he's very good at writing scripts. Of course, which is what matters the most, as this movie,
that's true.
As this movie proves. Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to focus on the important things. But anyway, time for some hashtag analysis. Sentimental value. True to its title, the film uses physical objects to show how we stay tethered to the past. The sisters' struggle to clear out their mother's house is a literal representation of their emotional baggage. Gustav's old workspace remains a forbidden zone. It represents a space in their home they were unable to access. Yeah. Again, obviously, something like you can't get rid of your, someone's stuff after they've died is a pretty common thing. But this idea of it all being all centered around this house, I think, works.
Yeah, the house is a metaphor, as we have said now, I think for the third time.
Yes,
but it's a good idea. It's not a bad idea, but again, it's just not that hard to work out. But let's get on to the movie. that
Yes.
Gustav is trying to create a better movie, some might say, than this one.
Haha. Gustav's latest script is seemingly inspired by his mother, Karen, who was tortured during the Nazi occupation and asked to speak to the manager, and eventually committed suicide in the family home when Gustav was 7. Gustav proposes filming the movie in the actual home and hopes to recreate the suicide in the climactic scene. He asks Nora to play Karen, but Nora refuses to even read the script. Yes, like when I was watching this, I was like, yeah, that's a very obviously, they talk about men going to therapy and all that. It's like this is literally a men will do anything except go to therapy moment.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. He always wanted to make this movie. I think that's clear, but he couldn't because of their mother, because he wanted to film it at their house.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why he had to wait for his their mother to die and his ex-wife. But yeah, I suppose is it meant to be a twist when we realise that the script is about Nora and not so much about his mother? Is that meant to be a twist? Because I think that's kind of obvious right from the start, because he's saying like, no, only you can play this. Like, I only want you for this role. And so it's meant to be this kind of reveal later on in the movie where it's like, no, this script really isn't about his mother so much. It's about his daughter, and it shows that he understands his daughter. He does they can have this good connection, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of obvious right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree? Do you agree that there is meant to be a twist there?
Yeah, I did. I would have said I got the impression there was a twist, and I would also agree with you that it's hardly a shocking twist. I would say I don't think the twist is supposed to be super shocking. I think it's supposed to be more like they're understanding it, and there's some kind of emotional impact for them, like realizing this. But obviously, the fact he literally intensely wants his daughter to get involved. Oh yeah, it's not surprising. I don't think the film is expecting us to find it super shocking, but maybe it's expecting us to find it a little bit more shocking than we would actually, based on just paying attention to the film.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Anyway, some more hashtag analysis.
Yes, hashtag analysis. Nora explicitly mentions at one point that she feels like a curator rather than a resident. This highlights the film's core theme. The house has ceased to be a home and has become a museum of their trauma. The cinematography and the way the camera moves through the tight hallways reinforces this feeling of being trapped. I will say, the house is very nice. I was like, that was the first thing that I thought. I was like, wow, this looks like such a cozy, old-timey house. I wish I lived here. So, it's kind of like in Lionel Hut's, like, I feel trapped. Some might say cozy.
It's good. It's just, that's... give us something else to talk about, which you will do in the next paragraph.
Yeah, can I say, Luke, by the way, I think brilliantly anticipated in terms of making this the movie that we're combining with another movie, because...
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, imagine filling out a whole episode. After encountering American actress Rachel Kemp at a film festival, he offers the role of Karen to her. The inclusion of Kemp's star power in the project convinces Netflix to finance the project. The production grows troubled as Gustav openly resents working with Netflix. Now, I heard you groan. Is this a groan perhaps motivated not by me mispronouncing Karen? Because I'm pronouncing that right, aren't I? It's not Karine. They're not like Arabs, are they?
Well, did you hear me groan?
I heard you groan.
Okay, I didn't think I did not groan. So,
okay. Well, I'm just so in tune with your emotions. I sense. Because I was thinking that you had an eye-rolling kind of reaction, maybe I'm wrong, to the idea of Netflix kind of getting some flack for kind of causing issues for this artiste, and that perhaps being relevant to the issues that some people in the film industry might have with Netflix ruining cinema.
No, yeah, I actually enjoyed the scenes where Stellan Skarsgård is frustrated with Netflix. I actually thought those were quite fun. And yeah, when he calls the guy a TikTok troll in Norwegian, that's great. I never thought I'd hear those words in Norwegian.
Well, obviously for them, they actually have real trolls, so they've got to be careful around that kind of language.
Yeah. No, so I liked it, and yeah, there's a bit of inside baseball, from Joachim Trier. But yeah, the scene with Elle Fanning when she is in her jeans, and we can see, everything.
Yes.
Well, that's at the point we can't see everything, that's maybe
much to your chagrin.
Yeah, but no, that scene is great. where he's walking her around the house. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Because again, like there's this idea, that I don't know if Joachim Trier is poking fun at Americans or American actors specifically, but yeah, it's fun to see this American actress just shocked at like the Scandinavian penchant for depressing things.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, and the scene is very well done as well.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And of course, I mean, also they mentioned the idea of doing the film in Awana, but then this film isn't in Awana, so you mentioned like, oh, maybe he's got a better plan for a movie. Well,
Yeah.
Although to be fair, again, Wanas, that's also a very overdone thing. I say very overdone. 1917 did it.
Yeah, and it would be very meta. It's like, they're talking about Awana in the actual movie. Well, this shot is going to be Awana. It's like,
whoa.
Yeah. I mean, there's no need for that, is there? And then typical Scandinavian.
Wank scenery.
No. What am I talking about? What's the word I'm looking for? When you're not boastful.
Humility.
I've got it. Yeah, typical Scandinavian modesty or humility, as you say. Yes, yeah. Oh yeah, we'll talk about this great one-off shot, but I'm not actually going to do it. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have like big aspirations.
No,
it's actually really funny. I watched a video of a guy eating like this Swedish fermented fish, which you may have heard of before, but he's like going through this whole elaborate process of exactly how you eat it so that you don't die from this fermented fish. He takes a bite and just goes, yes, not bad. And like a lot of the comments just say like, it's so funny that he goes through this nuclear decoding effort to make this fermented fish edible, and then his conclusion just, yeah, it's not bad. Anyway, Nora is put off by the fact that Gustav treats Rachel with more empathy than his own daughters. She is infuriated by Gustav suggesting that her internal rage prevents her from finding love. Nora subsequently loses interest in her work. Yeah, I thought like this idea of Rachel kind of becoming a surrogate daughter was, again, you can kind of tell what was all going, blah, blah, maybe we should just stop saying that. But I did think this was interesting, and I was thinking, like, okay, I like that as a dynamic where you kind of almost get this actress acting as a proxy for his daughter. That's kind of an interesting way to explore the relationship.
Yeah, she uses her like internal struggle to fuel her work. Like we said before at the start, and yeah, then she loses interest in her work as a kind of a form of protest.
Yeah,
to be like, yeah, no, okay, fine. I'm if this is what is causing me to like, or maybe it's a case of I just don't want to, rely on this unhappy feeling anymore. I don't want to do it. So yeah, I what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to act, and so maybe that'll like convince me not to be unhappy almost, because then there's no like logical reason to need that anymore. If you get me. Which I think is what is happening, which is interesting, but yeah, it's not really explored that much, to be honest. But yeah, if that is the case, it's nice. It's something a bit different. I honestly, I do wish these again, like this movie has to be so subtle, of course, because again, it's Scandinavian, so yeah, it has to be slow and subtle, and the characters don't say much. But yeah, I do wish you'd perhaps get more into the psychology of Nora than it does, because that seems, that could have made the movie a bit more interesting, perhaps. But yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, she's, obviously she's got these problems, and they're interesting somewhat, but yeah, the general point is like, there's just trauma, and that's what overwhelms everything, including with Nora, so yeah, there you go. Let's move on.
Yes. To understand her father better, Agnes reads her grandmother's statements about her torture, which she otherwise refused to discuss with anyone. So yeah, confronting generational trauma makes sense.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the trauma specifically of fascism, how that affected Norway, how it still lingers, which again could be interesting because that's like a specific like political thing, of course, what the Nazis did, occupying Norway, and kind of similar to The Secret Agent, of course. Where there's this theme about how what happened in the past has to be the movie. The Secret Agent focuses more on how what happens in the past needs to be confronted. At least that's the message at the end of The Secret Agent, which we'll get to. And yeah, obviously the trauma that was caused by the fascist dictatorship in Brazil, how it needs to be exposed. And yeah, of course. We have this example here in Sentimental Value with fascist Germany taking over Norway and of course torturing the the grandmother of Nora and Agnes, and yeah, how that then it's like a domino effect through the generations. Yeah,
Agnes, more like Agnius, because she was just suffering so much under the Nazi occupation.
Agnes was not the grandmother.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, what was the grandmother called? Do I remember?
I don't know.
No, yeah, I don't care, Luke. When I say that, because you just gotta let these things go. But yeah, it makes sense. Obviously, it's always weird. Like you kind of forget that so many places were occupied by the Nazis, and quite recently. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but not this fucking country.
No,
not this one.
That's why we never have any trauma with fascism, and that's good. It kind of leaves the door open. It means because everyone gets one, right? So we can like. We've got that fascism card. Like if there's an emergency, we really need like a strong man who's going to kind of get this country back on the right track. We always have that fascism option. Whereas all these other countries, they've got the trauma, like they can't go back to it ever.
It's nice to have that choice, unlike communist Norway.
Exactly. Yeah. Rachel, realizing that the role is not right for her, and Gustav's first choice for the role is Nora, exits the production. That evening, Gustav goes outside and drunkenly puts up a middle finger at the house, or more generally at the sky, before collapsing and being hospitalized. Yeah, so he's mad at the house, probably because the house represents some of the things from his past and the family and things.
Yeah. Exactly. You made a good point there. Yeah. So he gives a finger to the house, or maybe up to the sky towards his mother. Maybe. I was thinking that's maybe why he like points, in an upward direction. But yeah, again, clearly giving a middle finger to this metaphor, which is quite obvious. Yeah. So yeah, no, but yeah, it's good when a moment like this happens because it's like, oh yeah, like everything we've kind of been saying. Yeah, it tracks. We're not making stuff up because this is quite easy to work out.
Yeah, I like when a movie confirms that I wasn't just like making shit up. But sometimes I just power through. Like even when a movie is like makes it very obvious that I've just made shit up, I'm like, no, I'm committed. I'm still going to believe that the nonsense interpretation I made up in my head is the correct one, and that's part of being brave, I would say. So well done, me. Agnes is furious when Gustav casts Eric in the movie without her permission, remarking that Gustav previously casting her in a movie did not compensate for his general failures as a father. Yep. He's being weird. He's being a weird guy who's just trying to get over the fact, or distract from the fact that he's a terrible, evil, wicked man.
I do like the conversation that he has with Agnes where he says, like, just read it, because I think that's because she's like, I don't care how good it is. And he never made the argument that it's good. He just wants her to read it because, he it's just his response as, she's accusing him of being a bad parent. And he's like, yeah, just read it, because he realizes like how he's fucked up, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that's good because he starts in his first conversation with Nora, when they're at that restaurant. He says to her, hey, it's really good. It's my best work, and that doesn't convince her. And at this point, he's just like, no, just read it. I don't care whether it's he doesn't make the argument that it's good. He just wants her to read it because it will help him explain his actions potentially, and help him connect to his daughter Nora.
Sensing that Karen passed on her generational trauma to Gustav, Agnes reads Gustav's script. She realizes that while the film's plot is inspired by Karen, its emotional arc reflects his sincere regrets about his broken relationship with Nora. Yeah. Pretty simple, like you already said. This is the thing that's like, oh, it's not really a twist, but it is information.
Yeah, again, that was the obvious twist. And it isn't that crazy. And again, I don't know if the movie was building up this twist to be this incredible twist. Maybe it was just like a small twist. It's like, you could have seen it coming. It was obvious, but yeah, again, of course, it's about generational trauma. How many times have we used that word trauma?
Yeah.
How many times?
Too many. But not necessarily any less than to reflect the sincere reality that many, many people are suffering from generational trauma. Agnes is struck by the final scene. It is revealed that Nora's own suicide attempt, which she never shared with Gustav, is depicted with striking similarity within the script. Agnes pushes Nora to read the script, which she finally does. Moved by a sense of understanding between herself and her father, Nora finally agrees to join the film. Yeah, I mean, this is a powerful moment. He has magical abilities to sense how his daughter was trying to kill herself.
Yeah, Wikipedia says this. Oh, well, it says, moved by a sense of understanding between herself and her father, Nora agrees, to join the film. Um, I think Wikipedia is doing a lot of editorializing here because, you have to interpret this, but it could be correct, of course. But I mean, it is correct somewhat, but because obviously she does join the film. But yeah, it's just, we don't see that scene of her, having this understanding between her father. We don't, and I guess maybe Joachim Trier didn't want to put a scene like that in the movie where she goes to her dad after reading the script and is like, yeah, I'll do it, and they have a talk. But that could have been nice. That could have been a nice scene.
Yeah.
But no, we can't have a flashy scene like that. Because maybe it fits in with the theme of these two don't really, they can only connect through arts, through the film, so they can't have just a normal conversation connecting. But yeah, it's kind of a shame we didn't get that scene, but whatever. I guess there's maybe a point to it.
Yeah, that's it. Whenever there's a thing, you're like, oh, that would have been nice. Oh, well, their artistic vision, actually, that would have been shit because it would have totally contradicted it. It's like, no, I wanted it. Shut up, you dickhead, you say.
Okay.
Yeah, they respect you for having said it. Time for some more #analysis. A major theme is whether turning pain into art is an act of understanding or exploitation. Gustav tries to reconnect with his daughter Nora by casting her in a film about her grandmother's suicide. While Nora initially views this as a kind of emotional vampirism, the film eventually suggests that art can be a bridge for people who don't know how to talk to each other in the real world. I think that if the movie was a little bit more about that, it could be quite interesting. I feel like the film very much lands on the side of, ultimately Gustav, he's a good guy, bless him. I don't feel like the film is actually that cynical in its depiction of Gustav personally. That's my interpretation. Well, whereas if he was a bit more cynical, I think that would be quite interesting.
No, well, the movie is saying, Gustav can't connect to his daughter normally, so he has to do it through his art, through this movie. And that's good. That's okay. Gustav is correct. He is an artist. This is a legitimate way to connect with your daughter, and he's not trying to be some kind of emotional vampire, using their trauma to create this film. No, he's doing it sincerely, and he's doing it because he cares a lot about his daughter, but just can't express it normally. So what was your point then?
Well, I'm saying I think it would be a bit more interesting if it was a bit more cynical in terms of presenting it actually there is something maybe a little bit.
Well, that would be
explosive.
a lot. That would be a lot darker then, wouldn't it? It would be a completely different movie,
Yeah, no, a much better movie. This movie is This movie is too happy-go-lucky. It's too fun. It's too nice. It's too much excitement and whimsy, and I hate it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If Gustav was generally did not care about his daughter and was just using this movie to exploit it, then that would be that would be very much a darker movie, and he would be very much a villain. While in this movie, he is just kind of a bad father but deep down does care. And what you're suggesting is something completely different.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot, Luke, coming from you. I know we've sometimes not seen eye to eye, but to hear you say that really means a lot.
What that
what my idea is a much better. I think you said it would be. If I heard you correct, I think under your ref said that would be very different.
See, if you don't say that,
movies.
Then if you didn't say that, then again, you can't. The joke doesn't really work unless you say the first part. It's like, oh, thank you for saying my idea was so great, because I was confused then. But yeah, whatever.
Gustav finds the money for the film by selling the family home, which is shown with new furnishings in a modern style. Filming taking place on a stage that has been adjusted to look like the Borg home. Nora performs the climactic scene with Eric acting as her son. After the final take, she exchanges a wordless, understanding look with her father. Yes, interesting. Obviously, kind of obvious, the whole, he sells the family home, it's like letting go of the family trauma, okay? When he, was redoing the movie in the modern style, I was just thinking about that, I see so many videos of people posting clips of house flippers, where they destroy, old antique stuff in houses, and everyone calls for them to be publicly lynched. I don't know if you've, seen the anger that happens when that kind of happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
people get upset.
Yeah, so, again, they can't talk to each other, but they can communicate through art. Nora has this closure. They have this understanding. Yeah, it's a nice ending. It's the most joyful, happy ending to a Scandinavian movie you have ever seen.
It actually is, though. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yes, my daughter is recreating her suicide in the movie I am making. Yeah, but after this movie, was Joachim Trier considered like the Adam Sandler of Norway?
That's really funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was like Jack
yeah.
and Jill for them.
Yeah, exactly. So the daughter and the father do connect at the end. Beautiful, wonderful. It's what a happy-go-lucky time at the movies in Oslo. But yeah, let's end with some hashtag analysis.
Yes, more hashtag analysis on the ending. It suggests that the sentimental value we attach to the past is often a burden. Only by selling the story, making the film, and emptying the house can the family finally move into the present. Yes, stop caring about the Nazis. Get over it. I've been saying this for a while, and people think that I'm people have a problem with that. I've never understood why.
Yeah, I just thought I'd put that bit of analysis at the end because, of course, the movie is called Sentimental Value, and yeah, I guess it doesn't really make sense at first because it's like, well, sentimental value implies like certain things have more value than they actually are worth. But again, it's a bit of a twist. It's like, no, the sentimental value is overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we're too often attached to the past. We need to let go of the past, and then we can grow, and then we can move on, etc. So yeah, that's the final message. So yeah, let's conclude. Michael, you go first.
Yeah. So I think this film has some interesting ideas, but as we've explored, none of it's really interesting. None of it's groundbreaking. None of it is the kind of stuff that you'll keep coming back to again and again. Just like, wow, let me just remind myself of all the crazy stuff. And ultimately, a lot of the relationship dynamics are pretty well worn in other movies. So for me, I'm going to say a middling 7. Could be a low 7, but whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, artistic, nice, entertaining, but just not that original.
Yeah, well, I would say it's not that entertaining, though. You said it was entertaining. I would say again, it's not that entertaining. It's fine. It's not that original. It's not that complex. It's just good. I think the acting is probably maybe the best aspect of the movie, because yeah, that's the thing with these subtle performances. It's a lot of the time it may be a bit of a burden for the actor, but then you have to you're analyzing them more. You get more out of less, if you get me.
Yeah.
And so that makes the acting performances seem better. But yeah, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10, which is very similar to what you gave it. It's like, yeah, it's the definition of, it's just good. But yeah, it's not as good as other Best International Film winners of the past. And let's get on to the other movie which was nominated for Best Picture, which was an international film at the Oscars, which is the Brazilian movie The Secret Agent. So we're gonna see whether we think this should have won Best International Film over Sentimental Value, I guess, given obviously we're going to go a rating at the end.
Yes.
So yeah, shall we move on to The Secret Agent, Michael?
Yes, although obviously I think when we do this, the only thing really for me to say at this point is, Luke, what can you tell us about The Secret Agent?
Sure thing, Michael. So The Secret Agent, in Portuguese, or Agente Secreto, is a 2025 historical political thriller. Thriller.
It's pretty thrilling.
I'm not sure about that word, to be honest. Thriller. It is written and directed by Kleber Mendonça Filho. I don't know if I said that correctly at all. It's like, maybe it's Kleber Mendonça.
I'm going to say every word
Filho.
wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, so the movie stars Wagner Moura. I know how to say that, not just because it's easy to say, but he was nominated for Best Actor as well. It also stars Carlos Francisco, Tana Maria, Roberto Diogenes, Alice Carvalho, Gabriel Leon, Maria Fernanda Candido, and Udo Kia. There you go. It was released on the 17th of December in France, and again, I don't know why. Who cares when it was released in France? But it was released on the 6th of November in Brazil and Germany. So there you go. Again, there seems to be a German connection here, to be honest with you. Which
yes.
Again, because it was also distributed by a German company.
It's partially in German.
Yes, of course. So maybe that makes sense. Why I did think, why is there this German Jew character in the movie? Okay, now, yeah, this is understandable now. So, Michael, can you guess what the budget was for The Secret Agent?
No. Well, there's more stuff happening in this film compared to, say, sentimental value. Obviously, you're in a different, well, you're in a different time period. All that kind of stuff is going on. This makes me think that it would have been more expensive. Having said that, it's also in a very poor country, is my understanding. Brazil, basically, it's third world. So, putting my thinking cap on, I'm going to say 20 million.
Well, you'd be close if you were guessing in Brazilian real.
Ooh, I bet Brazilian real isn't worth shit. It's probably like 5 million.
That is correct.
Oh, well done.
$5 million. It was 27 million Brazilian real. So there you go. What about the box office?
I don't know. I'm going to say. I'm going to say four. I'm going to say, based on the fact that Brazil's got a big population, I'm going to say 35 million.
It's better to swing for the fences, The actual box office is only $20.3 million.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give up then. I'll never ever guess anything again.
So, Michael, can you tell me, did you like The Secret Agent?
Well, let me tell you something, Luke. I'm really excited to talk, to read the Wikipedia summary so I can find out what was going on. I found this film to be, because it kind of starts off, and I almost felt like it was going to be some kind of, I don't know why I know why I had this thought, like No Country for Old Men, just in that there's like, he shows up at this gas station, there's that dead guy, there's like a whole thing where someone's like putting out a hit on him. I was like, oh, this is going to be exciting. I also thought it was going to be a bit one battle after another, which, that's another comparison to make. And both those films are kind of actually pretty simple and just, I don't know, entertaining based on that. This movie, I found it very confusing, very hard to work out what was going on and why what was going on was happening. Now, you've said, I've noted your whole thriller comment and your skepticism thereof. So I'm going to guess that forms a part of your opinion on the film. What did you think of the movie?
Yeah, so I knew what was going on. I
wish I knew what was going on.
I didn't have that problem, to be honest with you. Maybe it was because I was looking at the Wikipedia, plot summary as I do. But yeah, to be honest, I didn't really think this would be hard to work out, what was happening. I think it's like pretty. What bit are you confused about?
I guess what I'm confused about is, who were the bad guys? What were they trying to do? What was their goal?
I'll tell you. So the bad guys, the two hitmen that are hired at the start.
They throw that woman in the river. They shoot her in the head.
Yes. So that's just an example of the kind of stuff they do.
Yeah. So basically, is it pretty much a situation where this guy he's because there's local cops. So the main character,
Wagner Moura, yeah.
Wagner Moura, he is he's a journalist.
No, what the fuck? Did you just miss out like the scenes where he's at a university?
He's a professor. Yeah, you know what? I did know this actually. What is he a professor in?
Did you just not watch this movie?
I did. I genuinely watched every single part of this movie, like every single second of this movie, but I kept forgetting the information that had been revealed after the scene was over.
What?
Well, I only remember, what would happen is, something else would happen, when we were reminded of things, oh yeah, there's that guy. But I just, the information, I was not retaining it.
Okay, well, that seems like a you problem. Have you done, some drugs recently?
Well, I don't know, maybe I was very tired when I watched the film, but I also think it's because it's all in a foreign language, so it's really, because you're, reading it. It's like you're reading it all the time. And I was, reading it, but I was so focused on reading it that I wasn't actually focused on, memorizing it.
Has your attention span just been completely destroyed? Because I know it's
I had
been...
Family Guy funny moments on another tab just to kind of help, but for some reason
I know it's always been bad, but this is taking it to a new level. How could you even guess this guy is a journalist? There is multiple scenes with him with the bad guy like Girotti. And he's at this university, and he says, I was the head of this department. I was at this, and he go on, tell me what sector he worked in at the university.
I really want to say he was working in the journalism sector. That's what I really want.
Why?
Just because I feel like it's because he's investigating. right? So he's
What,
investigating.
sorry, what do you mean? He's investigating what? What are you talking about?
He's
What's he
he's
investigating?
like traveling around and finding out information.
What do you mean he's finding out information? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Like, isn't he like he goes to Recife?
Yes. Do you know why he goes to Recife?
He sees his son.
Yes. But do you know why he goes from where he was? I think it was someplace near Sao Paulo to Recife.
There's a carnival happening.
Yeah, no, but like
I assume for work.
No,
it's not.
Fucking no. Did you? What is like? I don't understand how you can watch like. Did you not just like rewind after you've like seen like if you're confused? I'm like, wait, I really don't know what's happening. Shall I just go back to the start of this conversation?
Yeah, well, the problem is I only realized that I didn't understand the conversation a little bit after the conversation.
Remember, like they're talking about like tanning leather and electrical cars.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, okay, yeah. So is he like science? Is he a science guy?
Yeah, maybe a bit like involved in the making of stuff, you know?
Yeah, like engineering.
Yes, engineering. Yes.
Yeah, because there's a scene where it's like a business meeting, and I think it's towards the end where they're talking about. I wish I could remember. It's like basically, I think they're talking about like how they say like the line, "This area isn't even a regional capital. Never mind a national capital. Never mind an international capital." And are they talking about leather there?
Well, they talk about how the department needs to be shut down.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which was what was going on in the fucking conversation when at the start of the meeting, Wang Demora says, you know, he's given the narration. You know, he said the next day they shut us down or something. He said something like that because the whole point is this guy Giroto has come in and he's like, oh yeah, all of this stuff is great, but you're not needed down here. So you're going to be like this department's going to be shut. And of course, Wang Demora. Who was like, what's his actual name? It's like it's Marcelo is his fake name. I can't remember his actual name because it's like. And anyway, the point is, yeah, he's like, well, he's the head of the department, so obviously he's pissed. And then, you know, then the next day, or sometime the next in the near future, he goes on the. I can't believe I'm having to explain this to you. He goes on like a dinner. He has a dinner with this Giroto guy and his wife. Remember that scene?
Yes.
Yes, and what happens in that scene?
They are talking.
Yes.
And he expresses a grievance. I want to say he doesn't change his mind.
Jesus Christ.
He does change his mind.
They
have a dinner.
They get into. Do you know? No,
wait,
you didn't
hold
watch
on a
this movie.
minute.
Like, there's no point in fucking reviewing this movie because you haven't watched it.
Wait,
like, how can you?
Is this the bit? Is this the bit where? Is there kind of like a threatening subtext?
Yes, there is. But what happens at the end? They get into a fight, don't they?
Yeah, but this is not. This is because obviously like the whole shootout and the barbershop and stuff. That's later.
Well, yeah, obviously that's later. Yes.
Yes. They get into a fight.
So I don't understand. Like he's talking to this resistance member, Elisa, and he's like
because this is the one battle after another style stuff.
Wait, what?
Well, because it's like there's they're like members of the resistance and they're kind of involved. Yeah.
So he's talking to this member of the resistance, which is Elsa, and you know he's recounting these stories, you know, of why he is now in Recife. You know, he's telling, oh, this is why I had to move away from my job, away from my home, because of what was because of this guy Girotti. You know, do you understand that?
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, I know there's like the framing thing if he's like explaining this stuff. Yes. So again, like do you remember his Wagner Moura's wife? You know, like has a go at Girotti and his son. You know, in that dinner scene. Yeah, and it's kind of like there's a little bit of like a know your place.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, don't it's like that thing. It's like the Chris Rock thing about how if you get pulled over by the police, you shouldn't have an angry woman with you because she's going to get your ass beat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because she's got big Latina energy.
Yes. So why has Wagner Moura gone to Recife?
We haven't. Okay. The ultimate reason he's gone there.
Yes. The only fucking reason he's gone there
is. It's not to see his son.
Well, his son.
He kind of abandons his son.
His son is there.
Yes.
That's why he chooses to go to. But why has he left his home?
Is it for like political resistance reasons?
What do you mean political resistance reasons?
Like he's kind of there to ferment discontent.
No, he's not there to ferment. Jesus Christ. He's there because Gerotto has just killed his wife.
Oh, okay. His wife is dead. I did know that.
Yes.
Because obviously he says to his son, he's like, she's the memory, her memory lives through us and they're in the car. And he's like, Papa, why is Mom dead? And then, yes. And he says that the wife died from cancer or pneumonia, but she didn't actually die from pneumonia. He's lying.
No, she was probably killed because, again, she disrespected this very powerful man, you know? Yes. And that's what I'm guessing. Again, and I think that's the case. And so then he is going to get killed. So he leaves.
Yeah, so basically, and Girotti is a corrupt. He's not. He is. Am I right? Okay, he is in a position of institutional power. Yeah, he's corrupt. That is accurate.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's like a part of the fascist dictatorship running Brazil. You know.
There's one specific corrupt politician.
Well, yeah, and then what does this corrupt? I don't even know if he's a politician. Like, he's not a politician. You know, he's just like this guy who's in charge of this department. You know, he's been put in charge of this department. Like, and what
civil servant?
Okay, yeah. What does this Girotti then do? He's a businessman, I think. But what does this Girotti do then? After Wagner Moura has gone to Recife, what does he do?
Then he hires two cops, or no, they're not cops, but he hires the two people with the old lady in the back of their car, who, you know, that's how I know them. The two people, the old lady who they kill. He hires those two people.
Why don't you just call them hitmen?
Hitmen, that's it. He hires the two hitmen to hunt down, the main guy, Magnamora, and that's where I got. Did I say his name wrong? How do you?
Wagner Moura.
Wagner Moura. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. And that's where I got the whole "No Country for Old Men" vibes.
Yeah.
So
that was the start of the movie, because at the start he's going to Recife because he's just left this place. Again, it's near Sao Paulo, and he's going. You know, he's driving to Recife, and
he meets those corrupt cops at the place, and then he picks up his son, and then he meets the refugees from Angola, and he hangs out with his son, tells his son his wife died of pneumonia. Then
so why did you think he was a journalist? Why did you think he was investigating stuff? Because he doesn't do any investigating. Well, he's trying to figure out what happened to his mother, you know. That's why he's, you know, where he's based, right? Where he gets a job at.
Oh, wait. So he comes from São Luís, but that's not when you say where he's based. Where he's based?
What the fuck are you talking? What's São Luís? What?
That's where he's leaving, right?
Okay, when he was at the university, he was near to a big city, which I've talked about. What big city did I mention?
Wait, a big city that's not Recife.
Correct. I've said this like city.
Oh wait, hold
on
a minute. Isn't it? Wait, Sao Paulo.
Yes, Sao Paulo. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Which is on the which is like so far away, by the way.
Yeah. Hence why he says he's been driving for 3 days. You know, at the gas station. Yeah. You see how that. Oh, fucking hell. Right. So what job does he get when he gets to Recife?
He has a different job from working at the university.
Oh, well fucking done. Did you?
Because the university is in Sao Paulo.
You don't understand like how the passage of time works here. Like, it's incredible. Like, to see the gears. I can't see them obviously, but to hear the gears working in your head.
I am going to commit to saying, okay, am I right that he's working with another major character?
What do you mean working with?
When he's like doing the job he's doing in Recife?
Yes.
Is he not working with a police officer?
He meets a police officer, the chief of police, Escalades or whatever he's called.
Yeah.
He meets him there at his job on the first day at his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, as they say multiple times, this place is not a police station.
No. Yes, it's not. And this is when there's the woman who's like is really upset. Who's like, and they're like, oh, blah blah blah, just pretend you're working like always. And there's that woman who's typing away at her typewriter. Yeah. And this is also a place where the guy's banging a prostitute in like the back room where they keep all the records.
Oh, where they keep all the records. Well, right, can you figure out now, because they mention it several times in the movie, what this place is, what this building is, considering there's a lot of records.
Is it? Okay, now I want to ask this. Is it also, and this could be wrong, is it also where they're keeping the leg?
No, because that's a fucking morgue.
Okay, I wasn't sure if this was like a kind of police evidence place.
No.
I keep all the records. Is it just like the wait? You know what? I think I know what it is. It's like the city hall, or like the town hall.
So a specific word beginning with I. It's like all these records. What did they say?
Intelligence.
No. So second letter is D.
It's not identification.
Yes.
It's the identification
So he says
office.
Yes. So he says multiple times, like, why do you want to, or you've been, so characters say to him, why did you want to work in the identity card office? And he says, I wanted to work in the identity card office because I wanted to find out where my mother is, or where did my mother come from. That's why I wanted to work here. You know, he wants to find evidence of his mother. Okay.
Yeah. This is also why I thought he was a journalist, because I knew he was like looking for information. And I thought he was undercover at like the identity card thing, and he was trying to like kind of, well, not necessarily. I don't know if like journalist is the right word, but obviously there's like all the stuff of like people talking on the tape recorders, and
so the tape recorder. You know what that was, right? That scene where he's talking into the tape recorder.
It was.
I've already mentioned this, trying to explain this to you. Like, I'm very confused because did you just not pay attention to the subtitles?
I was reading the subtitles. I read every single subtitle. So
it's clear you just did not there's no point in even discussing the movie. I've just given up on discussing this movie with you because I'm astounded. I've never seen like this from you before, where you just apparently have not processed anything that happened in this movie. You were just, it was like you were watching it without subtitles, you know?
Yeah. I got to the end of the movie. And I realized I hadn't actually. There was like about halfway through the movie, I realized that I could remember individual scenes, but I had absolutely no idea what anybody's motivation or goal was, and I was also kind of interested in that because I think like a large part of it is that I was reading the subtitles, but I often wasn't glancing up from the subtitles, so I didn't always know who was talking.
Like maybe have you got brain cancer? Because I don't know. It seems like I've often criticized your cognitive abilities. You know, I've done that several times before, but this is a whole new level of like, what the fuck? Like, were you not embarrassed at the end of watching this movie? It was like, oh shit, I actually had no idea what's just happened.
I thought to myself, if I had more time, I would have watched the movie again. I did think that to myself when I got to the end of the movie, but the problem is, by the time I got to the end of the movie, there wasn't enough time to watch the movie. You could have come
back and like to several scenes to try and work stuff out, you know. Like, you know. Anyway, so we're skipping the review. We're not going to do the review because clearly there's no fucking point. So let's just get let's get to the bit where Mike Namora, you know, he's told like, hey, you got to see, because some guy phones him, you know, who was back in Sao Paulo, is like, you know, they're sending hitmen after you, and you've been put on the list. Remember that?
So this is the guy who's like, and he's the one who's like talking about how he's running out of tokens.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yes. And he says, you know, you need to meet Elsa.
And I do remember Elsa.
Yes. So this is the scene with the tape recorder.
So he's telling them the story about Dorothy, and it kind of does a flash backwards.
A flash backwards, also known as a flashback. Yes. Because he's telling a story that happened in the past. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So this is where you find out the information. See, the movie, it's not linear.
What do you mean it's not linear?
Like, it doesn't start off telling you the things that happen first, and then end by telling you the things that happen last.
These flashbacks are very obvious, you know? Like, they're not like, it's not like you're watching the movie and you're like, oh, I don't know what the hell's happening here. Like, you're like Dylan not understanding the flashbacks. You know how we like have in the past criticized Dylan for just not understanding how movies work, like his lack, and you know, Dylan's
he did this with Kill Bill.
Yeah, well, yeah. I feel like I'm talking to Dylan, you know, after he had seen Kill Bill.
I bet Dylan would be confused by this movie.
Yeah, probably because he's a retard. But yeah, I didn't think you were, but apparently you are.
Well, you know what? I've definitely had movies in the past where I've been confused by them and not really understood what was happening. I was watching I've been rewatching with my wife Game of Thrones, and I saw that in season 1, and genuinely, like, the number of characters in season 1 who I didn't even realize were in the show, and I thought were like completely new characters later on in the show, is crazy. And like, number of things, like, here's a really good example. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this now, because this also disproves the brain cancer theory, which is very reassuring. So I watched Game of Thrones 2016, 2017. I started watching it. Season 1, there's a character called Theon Greyjoy. From my perspective, I remember thinking in season 1 that he was a Stark, and whatever, doesn't matter, but Stark. And then in season 2, he goes to see the Ironborn, which are a different group, and he is actually a prince of the Ironborn, and he ends up declaring war on the Starks. And I was very confused. Now, 10 years later, watching Game of Thrones season 1 for the first time, I'm like, the number of times in season 1 that Theon Greyjoy talks about being an Ironborn and the fact that he's just staying with the Starks and he's not actually a Stark is insane. As soon as there's more than just kind of one character doing one thing linearly, it gets pretty hard to keep track of.
Yeah. Okay. Oh god, this is great. So yeah, I'd prepared some very interesting things to say about this movie, The Secret Agent. Yeah, it occurs to me when I was comparing sentimental value to The Secret Agent. You were probably like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" when I was discussing the themes. But yeah, okay.
Oh well, also they go to the cinema in The Secret Agent, right? And okay, because the cinema turns into a blood bank.
Yes, that's what happens because Fernando, at the end, the doctor is Fernando,
yes,
right?
And that is his son, and he doesn't like his dad.
No, he just doesn't know his dad.
Okay, well, I feel like there's some resentment. Am I crazy? I thought there was like some resentment.
Not really. He says he doesn't remember.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, well, but yeah. So okay, and that happens, of course, in the modern day at the end of the movie. Yeah, yes. Yeah. So okay, tell me.
Okay.
Wagner Moura or Armando, his father-in-law. Okay. What job does his father-in-law have?
Wagner Moura, his father-in-law. So this is obviously the dad of his murdered wife.
Yes. So it's just tell me, what character is that? What does he look like?
Father-in-law.
Do you remember a conversation between Armando's father-in-law and Armando?
No.
Do you remember the scene where the father-in-law is asking Armando, "Did you ever mess around behind your wife's back?"
Yes, vaguely. What scenes was that either side of? What happened around that moment?
That was one of the scenes where he just gets to Recife. That was relatively early on in the movie.
Okay, cool. So in that case, I that was like I definitely saw that. Yes, cool. Father-in-law.
Yeah,
that's such an obscure relationship. Father-in-law.
So, God, it's like, so the reason why his son Fernando is in Recife is it's to live with his father-in-law.
Oh wait, hold a minute. So the father-in-law, he's like the guy. Wait, hold a minute. But now, the son, Fernando.
Yes.
He says that he lived with his granddad. And he says his
Yes.
Oh my goodness me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what, Luke? This is genuine. You know what I'm about to say? I was about to fail to recognize that the father-in-law of your dad would also be your granddad. That's what I was about to say. I was about to say this. So I was about to say, oh, he says his granddad. I didn't realize that it was his father-in-law, or his dad's father-in-law instead. So now I've realized. Yeah. No, okay, yeah. So this character, okay, cool. Yeah. So he says, "Oh, my granddad is the one who raised me." He's the older guy who.
Yes.
Okay. You know what I mean? I know of that character.
Yeah, but it was great to see your retardedness in real time there. To be like, what? The father-in-law is the same as his granddad. Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it?
Great to see that in real time.
I think it's because I confused father-in-law with stepdad.
Okay, well that's just fucking stupid. One of the characters is a stepdad to the other, the two hitmen. Like, maybe that's why you.
There's so much going on in this movie. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like the amount I just buckled down and just like understood it, even though it was so.
So the father, who's called Alexander Senior, by the way, that's his name.
Okay.
And the granddad to Fernando, the father-in-law to Armando. this guy called Alexander Senior. What is his job?
You're asking me what the granddad is, what his job is.
You can't just repeat it. I've explained to you his relationship to the other characters. What is his job?
What is his job? His job is he is a taxi driver. For the record, I made that one up. He's not a police officer. Wait, hold on. Is he a barber?
No.
I thought maybe he was in the barber shop at the end. That was my thoughts. I was going to be really proud of myself.
You're just piecing together these. No, you shouldn't be. Fucking hell.
But I was going to be so proud.
You're piecing together these random. Like, you have not watched this movie. Like, come on, think about the various scenes in this movie. You know, we've. Oh god, this is incredible. Like,
So he's not in the scene where they're bullying the Holocaust guy, is he?
No.
Is he not? Oh, I was actually thinking like maybe he was he had some kind of role there. Although I don't actually know what that shop even was where the Holocaust guy was. I'm just supposed to know what this guy's job was.
We talked before, okay, about there is a link between this movie and Sentimental Value.
Oh,
okay?
Is he a filmmaker?
He's not a filmmaker, no.
Is he an author?
But there are a lot of scenes which take place in a certain venue.
Oh wait, he's a videographer, a thing. So when he's the guy who plays the movie reels in the movie theater.
Yes, that took you 5 minutes.
Okay, and that's the one because obviously that person is getting blown. So the person's getting blown while they're watching the movie, and the movie is a fucking like horror movie. I think it's called like Sabra or something. Like named after the
I'll tell you. Yeah, stop bragging about your knowledge. There's no point. He is a projectionist. That's
projectionist. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yes. But again, okay. There's no point in like. Okay, so what I want you to do, Michael, I'll just give my analysis because there's no point in you saying anything.
Yeah, I don't know if the movie is good.
Because we're going to skip the plot because again we've just basically gone through it there. A lot of it. So, but you are going to say the hashtag analysis.
Okay.
You are going to say that. So I'll tell you when. But yeah, basically, well, so this movie. You asked me, what's this movie like, Michael?
Yes.
Oh god, I'm just reading like the plot like that I sent to you, and it's like, yeah.
Do you think? Okay, look, I want to know. Okay, because here's the thing. What if I hadn't said this, and do you think, based on the fact I would be reading the Wikipedia, actually I will say this because like I say, like when you I've seen the film and it's a bit like, you know how like when you kind of speak another language but not very well, and it's sort of like if someone says, oh, ask this person for directions to this thing, you kind of like can work it out, but if someone just says, oh, speak this language to me, you have no idea. That's kind of how I feel with this film. It's like, I think genuinely, I will say, if I had not been honest and I just kind of read the Wikipedia thing, I would have, as we go through, I think I could have been like, oh yeah, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, you could have faked it, but I mean, because I would not assume you'd be this stupid, obviously. So I'd obviously assume you'd like understand what's happening in a very simple. It's not the simplest movie ever, but it's relatively simple, So I'll just say yes, it uses the trappings of a spy thriller. This movie. The secret agents. You got fake IDs, you got hitmen, but it is more of a slow burn, movie, more about survival. It's not as exciting as I first thought. Again, it's called a thriller, but it's not really a thriller. Again, it's okay. And you've got some very good world building. Again, kind of like Sinners, how I enjoyed the world building in that. Of course, this. I say world building. Of course, this the 1970s in Brazil. This is not some alien.
Yes.
Yes, it's not some alien world, but yeah, it's really this world feels real, and that's kind of cool. I just do like the vibe of Brazilian movies in general. I like the language, which is funny, and the colors always pop. Like it's a very nice movie to look at while I'm taking in the information, what the characters are saying.
I also enjoyed looking at it, especially in contrast to Sentimental Value, which is boring to look at. Some hashtag analysis.
Well, I'll just tell you, by the way, you said that. So the director loves sharks. That's pretty clear. There's a lot, and I think there's a Jaws. The movie Jaws is mentioned several times, isn't it? You got that right.
I did get that.
And I think the reason why Jaws is mentioned, it's mentioned for a few reasons, which we'll get into. But one of them is, and this is, I'm quite proud of, I don't know, proud is the right word, but I thought about this. It's like, oh yeah, well, Jaws, of course, is when there's this big danger happening, to this, I can't remember the town, whatever it's called.
Sunny Valley.
But yeah. Sunny Valley. Is that what it's called? Yeah, because it's not a fucking valley, is it? It's by the ocean. But yeah, there's these shark attacks, and the authorities want to ignore it. And yeah, there's this fascist dictatorship that is, threatening people's lives in Brazil. But what is going on in this movie? What big event is happening in this movie?
Carnivale.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So they're not going to close down the beach for. Oh yeah, I get. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
They're not. Yeah, they're not going to close down Carnival for the just because a bunch of fascists are running the country. So yeah, similar kind of thing there. And you see Wagner Moura a few times. Carnival. He's confronted with Carnival, and he just kind of walks through it. He doesn't ever get involved in Carnival. It's just going on in the background. But yeah, let's get into the first hashtag analysis.
Yes, the predator metaphor. There is a direct thematic link between Jaws and the events of the movie, and that's the idea of a hidden threat. Just as the shark in Jaws remains mostly underwater and invisible until it strikes, the military regime, secret police, and informants are under the surface of everyday life in Recife. Yes,
yeah.
There are a few moments, if I remember correctly, where people get arrested.
Yes, and of course, this is of course another movie about Brazilian life under Brazilian dictatorship, just like I'm Still Here. And yeah, just it goes into the horrors of that somewhat. So yeah, let's get on to the next bit of hashtag analysis, which is again about cinema, which is again the link between sentimental value and this somewhat. Yeah.
Cinema as resistance. Mendonça Filho is a noted cinephile, so he's been accused, and he uses the setting of a movie theatre to show how art can be a form of resistance. The title Secret Agent is a double meaning. It refers to Armando's life on the run, but also to a Jean-Paul Belmondo film playing in the local cinema, suggesting that movies provide a language for people to understand their own oppression. Also, in a regime where every conversation might be bugged, the dark movie theatre is one of the few places where people can sit together in silence. Yes.
Yeah. Or get a blowjob. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's very interesting. Again, it's another movie which, just loves cinema, and so the Academy, of course, nominate it. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. So actually, I want you to read the next paragraph.
Okay. Armando recounts a dinner with Fatima that ended in a fight with Girotti and his son, following remarks on the couple's class and communist sympathies. Elsa informs Armando a contract killing has been ordered and instructs him to flee Brazil.
Do you know who Fatima is?
No.
Fatima is his wife.
Oh, is she a Muslim?
Do you not remember what she looks like?
Is she? I feel like she looks kind of white.
No, she actually looks kind of. It's the scene where the dinner scene.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember what she looks like.
You just don't remember anything, do you? But yeah. So the point. Well, the whole point of this movie, I think, the underlying point is this guy, Wagner Moura's character Armando. You see the title and it's like, it's a fascist dictatorship in Brazil, right? This is what this movie is about. But this guy is just a normal guy. He's not a secret agent. Like he's just an average Joe or an average Jow. Do you like that?
Yes, that's good. I like that. Except Jow is actually Portuguese for John.
Yes. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, he's forced to be this dissident. All this crazy stuff is happening to him, and he just does not want to get involved. And this is how the regime, just takes out ordinary people. This is life under a fascist dictatorship. There is nobody who is safe. You can just get got. And that is the key thing. This guy, like he's called the secret agent. He's not even an agent. He's not this like a spy. He's not this person who is part of this resistance. He's just some normal guy. But somehow he is this agent, and so it's even secret to him that he is this agent. And he's got hitmen on him and everything. So I like that aspect of the movie because it's not about it's not like an exciting movie, but primarily because it's like all this crazy stuff is happening to this normal guy, so he's not doing anything like dangerous or exciting. Yeah. So let's get on to because of course this movie then jumps forward to the future. We know of course what happens during the movie. We don't need to go into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's jump forward to the paragraph where it says in the present day.
Yes. In the present day, history student Flavia researches Elsa's resistance network through recordings and newspaper archives, learning that Armando was murdered and framed as a corrupt professor. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so you understood that part, right? Like the flash forwards to the modern day. You know?
Yeah, it was when I first saw, because they do some flash forwards earlier on, and that was, that was a bit, I was like, oh no, but by the end I understood.
Great, that's fantastic.
There was a moment, I think, where when you first, I don't know if this is even when you first see her, but she's like on her laptop, and I was like, okay, I'm sensing not 1970s was my working theory.
So the point is, what we know is so different to the past, potentially, and it's up to us, the Brazilian public, to uncover the secrets, uncover the lies of the fascist dictatorship. So let's end on some hashtag analysis.
Hashtag analysis: censorship. A major theme is the tension between the government's attempt to erase history and the personal struggle to remember it. The film features present-day researchers looking through old surveillance files, suggesting that while the state tries to bury its crimes, the truth is waiting to be found. Armando is searching for records of his own mother, mirroring how the nation's history has been erased. The film also doesn't show his death either. Yeah, this is like that standard, Latin American people being disappeared situation.
Yeah, exactly, because, I thought that was very interesting. You don't show him actually dying, the movie doesn't show him actually dying, so that was interesting. Actually, just read the last paragraph, because it's the ending. So you want? I've got something to say here. Yeah.
Traveling to Recife, Flavia meets with Fernando, now a middle-aged doctor, who agrees to be interviewed after Flavia donates blood. The pair discuss Armando's political past and subsequent assassination, and the identity of Armando's mother, India. Fernando states he does not have a single memory of his father, but fondly recalls watching Jaws with his grandfather at a cinema, which has since become the blood bank where he works.
Yeah, I think a key line was said at the end where Fernando is like, I was scared of sharks until I saw Jaws, then I wasn't scared anymore. And I think the point is, we need to see the past so we're not scared of it. We need to confront the past so we're not scared of it. That's the metaphor with the Jaws movie.
Yeah.
In that context, at least. There's this idea of a national amnesia, the refusal to acknowledge what happened in the under fascist Brazil, which again I'm Still Here kind of touched on as well. Maybe this is a thing in Brazilian society where they just don't talk about that 20-year period, and movies like this are forcing the Brazilian public to acknowledge it. It's like, no, you got to confront it, then again you won't be scared of it anymore. You can heal that wound, which is again I'm Still Here kind of touches on that too. The characters and the audience, need to be allowed to grieve. And don't let your father be a secret. He is in this world. He is a secret agent. His father, because again, he's like this corrupt professor. Of course, he's not. His real story is still a secret, and it's waiting to be uncovered. I also like how he works at a blood bank, where people are giving blood. When in contrast, of course, a lot of blood was spilt.
Yes.
In Brazil under the dictatorship, which is a nice contrast there. But I'm not going to ask you to conclude, Michael.
Oh, I had some pretty good. I was going to say my main criticism of the film is that I don't think it made much sense.
Yeah. So I'll say, it's kind of a good movie. I just enjoy the setting, and I think the themes are kind of interesting. I do like how the movie ends. I think that it's a pretty cool ending. I'd say it's slightly better than Sentimental Value. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Again, it's not amazing, but it's quite good, and I think this deserved to win Best International Film over Sentimental Value. Although it is relatively close. I would maybe prefer it if it was a bit more of a thriller, if it's a bit more exciting. But I know that's kind of the point. It's like this guy isn't a secret agent. That's kind of the whole point. He's just a normal guy who's caught up in the in what was going on in society in Brazil in the 60s and 70s and partially the 80s. But Michael, what are we doing next time?
Next time we are doing two very simple, very easy to understand movies, and those are Train Dreams and Frankenstein. Wait, is Train Dreams also foreign?
Train Dreams is American.
Oh, thank God.
But that's the thing. You understood Anatomy of a Fall, for instance, or Sentimental Value.
Those movies feel so much more simple. Honestly, Luke, I'm surprised that you are getting on my case as much about this as you are, because when you really think about it,
you're not surprised.
It's it's foreign. It's jumping all over the place in terms of timeline. There's 100 different characters.
Okay, right, right. Okay, I know you're exaggerating for comedic effect, but in all seriousness, I have not seen one criticism of this movie saying it's too complicated at all. Not one. And again, I don't think it's that complicated, to be honest. So what I want you to do is just rewatch it. Will you do that for me?
You know what, Luke? I actually am going to rewatch it.
Good.
I genuinely am going to rewatch it. That was my plan all along. Be honest, Luke, because I actually want to know. Would you actually have preferred if I actually knew the movie? Because I'm not. I like genuinely. Obviously it is what it is.
Well, yes.
I wasn't sure because I thought maybe you're actually oh, this is so fun, but
No, it was. I did enjoy it somewhat. It was somewhat fun, but I also did want to talk about it because I did think it was quite an interesting movie. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's not like a boring 6 out of 10 where I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. No, I mean, I did want to talk about it, but whatever. Anyway, let's hope next time you understand both movies. So yeah, see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.